Sky Sports presents the Stones Bitter Championship, taking rugby into a different league.
Third top take on third bottom in the wind at Castleford tonight. Cass have been Yorkshire's leading side all season. Warrington, like Castleford, never out of the First Division, but their place threatened now like never before. We're live and exclusive on Sky Sports from Weldon Road. Classy Cass have been Yorkshire's top side all season. The Tigers' Australian coach Darrell van der Velde points the way forward for his side. He guided them to Wembley last season, but the title remains his ultimate ambition. He's assembled a useful team, the best of British and a sprinkling from the Southern Hemisphere. Richie Blackmore has run in 10 tries so far. Inconsistency has been the problem, an 8-match winning run before Christmas, but back to earth with a bump on Boxing Day against Leeds. A 40-12 hammering, though no one here is ready to throw in the towel just yet.
We realise we're going to lost the last 2 league games. We've beaten Saints at Saints this season in the cup game, so we know we're still in there with a chance.
So a win against Warrington is even more important?
Yeah, especially the way we played last week against Bath in the Eagle Trophy. That was bitterly disappointing, and we've got to restructure our confidence, and we do that by winning against Warrington.
Who lie a disappointing third bottom of the big league table. Well, if Leeds gave Cass a lesson on Boxing Day, they certainly showed Warrington the way home on Sky last Friday. Just one win in their last 8 games, but that was against Wigan, and about time they got going again.
We've got what we've deserved, and we've not applied ourselves professionally in every game that we've played. Momentary lapses have cost us very, very dearly. So Cass are at the right end of the table, they play good football, and we're at the wrong end of the table because we've made far too many mistakes. They're going to be on a backlash from their exit from the Eagle Trophy. It's a desperate game for us to solidify ourselves in for a top 8 run and in preparation for a Silk Cut Challenge Cup run.
So, will Warrington come off the rails at Weldon Road tonight, or will Castleford steam ahead? It's the Tigers against the Wire on Friday night's Big League. Well, we promise you a big match every time we bring you Friday night's Big League on Sky, and this week, no exception. Castleford third top, Warrington third bottom, 2 sides with immense pedigree. Neither of them have been out of the First Division since 1973. But Warrington at the wrong end of the table as far as they're concerned. This match is really vital for them. Well, Mike Stevenson, as ever, will be watching alongside me. Third top, third bottom, Mike. A gulf between the 2 sides, but how important is it?
Well, it's both important to both sides. Bradford, should I say, Castleford, they really want to get on the top of things to stay in that top 3 or top 4. Warrington, they're desperate for him, but they showed that they beat Wigan last week, and I think that they can put up a very good show tonight. It all depends on if their forwards can take control. It's pretty hard when they come down to Weldon Road. Castleford forwards, they love playing in front of their home crowd. It'll be pretty tough for them, but they've got to get points early.
Warrington obviously a long way away from Championship, but have Castleford given it up just yet, do you think?
I don't think so. I think they've been improved with the... Wigan were defeated by Warrington, and if Wigan slip up, say, maybe 3 more games into it, they could be really down to the wire. We could have St Helens, and I think their coach, Darrell van der Velde, is fully aware they've got to win against the bottom teams. Not taking anything away from Warrington, they played very well against Leeds last week, and I think it'll be a cracking game. I think it'll be very tough in the forwards, very, very early, but I think it might come down to the Greg Mackey, Mike Ford battle. That really is going to be a zinger tonight.
OK, we'll get Mike's prediction as to how the match will go from a scoring point of view a little bit later on. But, you know, it really has been awful weather in this part of the world all week. Snow early on, wind and rain over the past 24 hours. But the pitch here, looking from up here anyway, is in perfect condition. A tremendous job done by the head groundsman here at Weldon Road, Steve Kirk. And that is the impression as far as we're concerned anyway up here. It's a great pitch. I wonder what it is like pitch side, though, and the conditions underfoot. Let's check on them now with Bill Arthur.
Well, it's OK for you two up in your cosy commentary box with your blankets over your knees and a thermos flask to keep you warm. I tell you, down here on the pitch, it's bitterly cold and it's getting colder and it's getting windier. The pitch itself is in excellent condition. It's been covered all week because of the danger of frost. The other problem that has been a lot of rain in the area, but surprisingly, it's drained well and it is really good underfoot. The problem, though, is going to be this wind. It's been very gusty in this part of West Yorkshire. We've had lorries blown over on the M62 just down the road, and it's going to pick up pace during the evening. So we could be looking at gusts of 40 miles an hour in the course of this match. It's dry at the moment, but there is also the prospect of some rain, which is going to come belting in from the west with that wind as well. All in all, it's a delightful prospect.
Well, Bill Arthur's only been with us a couple of weeks already. He's complaining about the cold weather, but 6 degrees centigrade, it's very mild indeed. Well, a cracker of a match coming up for you here on Sky Sports tonight, I'm sure. It's Castleford against Warrington. And we will be right back here. We'll continue the build-up, and then, of course, kick-off is at 7:30. Don't go away. More from Weldon Road after these. Big league here on Sky. Castleford against Warrington, two sides who have never been out of the First Division since the First Division was reformed in 1973. Let's now take a check on the men that Mike Stevenson thinks will be the key players as we check out Steve-O's danger men.
Mike Ford is arguably the best scrum half in the championship, so it was no surprise to anyone when he ripped Wales apart in his debut game for England last November. This former Wigan, Leon Oldham star is one of the key factors in Castleford's attack, with the ability to create many openings for his forwards. Ford is no slouch when it comes to making the break and enjoys mixing his attacking role with runs from dummy half and the occasional chip over the top. There's little doubt whoever wins a duel between Ford and Warrington's Greg Mackey tonight will go a long way to ensuring his side takes the spoils. Tony Smith is another player in great form, as his 16 tries so far this season will testify. At 21 years of age, Smith has still plenty to learn, but his ability to finish off moves for the four-pointers earmarks him for a long representative future. The young centre has a clever step off both feet and the swerve and speed to test Warrington's defence to the fullest. Smith is an eager player who knows what it takes to produce that second effort to score. A player who set his sights high for 93, and Warrington could be the first to suffer. The New Zealand Test skipper Tawira Nikau is a player that can give opposing defences nightmares. His strong running out wide is a feature of Castleford's play. When Ford and Coyne get the link working well, it's usually the Kiwi loose forward who benefits. Big, strong and an elusive style of running that can tear a defence to ribbons. And Warrington know they'll have to shut him down quickly. Nikau is aware that the wire will come hard tonight, especially his fellow countrymen, Shelford and Mann. I'm sure both will be eager to blot him out of the game.
Warrington, a very, very good side, as they showed last Friday against Leeds. Came back very strong, especially after having a hard game against Wigan midweek. So, they're going to be very, very tough. A couple of New Zealanders there, Kelly Shelford and Dwayne Mann, a couple of blokes that I've played with in the past, and they'll be going out there trying their hardest to beat us.
Anyone who witnessed last week's fight back against Leeds will realise the talents of Kiwi loose forward Kelly Shelford. The New Zealander worked overtime to give Warrington a chance to get back into that match, and his barnstorming runs will be desperately needed by the wire tonight. Shelford moves quickly for such a stockily built man, possesses a neat kick and chasing game, and can prove to be a handful to bring down when the handoff comes into action. Warrington are desperate for 2 points tonight. Shelford holds the key. If his supports back up his breaks, then an upset could be on the cards. Paul Cullen is another who enjoys running hard at the opposition, and if Mackey and Ellis start finding the gaps, you can bet this long-striding second rower will be there to carry on the move. Warrington's longest-serving player is in fine form and loves nothing better than running out wide at the centres. At 13 stone, one could hardly class him in the heavyweight department, but his power is second to none, especially close to the line. Kevin Ellis was Warrington's only tourist last year, and big things were expected of the former Welsh Union star on his return. Sadly, it's taken Ellis quite some time to get back into the swing of things, but glimpses of class were evident last week against Leeds. His combination with halfback Greg Mackey will be vital. The simple truth is, if they combine well, then Warrington are capable of doing anything.
For a very tough encounter, and you know, to go on Castleford on a Friday night, we know it's a big task. But you know, there's a lot of spirit in the Warrington team now, and hopefully, you know, we can do them on Friday.
People are saying Warrington are just too good to go down, but in fact it's uncomfortably close, isn't it?
That's right, you know, they said it about Featherstone last year, you know, they're too good to go down, but, you know, that's life. You've got to win games, and, you know, that's what we're aiming to do now.
Kevin Ellis and the rest of the Warrington team looking for the 2 points that will perhaps take them out of trouble tonight at the wrong end of the table. Remember, they're third bottom. They're threatened now with relegation. Big night then for Warrington, and their coach Brian Johnson is talking now with Bill Arthur.
Brian, this is an important game for you, isn't it?
Very important game. All our games are important at this stage. You know, we just can't afford to lose them. So yeah, it's very important.
But of course, Castleford still maybe harbour hopes of the championship, so they're going to be fired up as well, aren't they?
Well, they're a very good side. You know, I think they're third at the moment in the league. You know, they probably have got more good footballers than any side in the country. You know, they can move the ball around, can play some exciting stuff. So they're a hard side to play against.
You came close against Leeds last weekend. Are you taking encouragement from that, or was it a disappointment?
Well, there are a lot of good things from the game against Leeds. You know, the points we had scored against us weren't so encouraging, but it was probably our best attack this season so far. So, yeah, you know, we've taken some encouragement, particularly from the fact that at 18-0 down, despite having played 3 days earlier, we were able to come back.
Darryl, how determined are you and the players to get things back on the right lines after that Regal Trophy defeat?
Well, we're very determined, obviously, Bill. You know, what happened last week, we discussed it training at Tuesday night, and it's forgotten. You know, we obviously got to take the good things out of that last week's game and come into this week's game. But at the end of the day, you know, that's history, and we've just got to concentrate on this next 80 minutes of football.
Conditions are very blustery out there. How do you think that's going to influence things?
Well, Warrington will be playing in the same conditions, so I don't think we have any problem there. We've just got to, you know, obviously the kick and chase game were very important, especially with the wind, and conversely, probably against the wind. You know, it's going to be very important that you get good field position. But they're playing the same conditions, so it shouldn't be any advantage to either side.
Pick up the points tonight, and you're right back in that championship race, aren't you?
Well, we're just going to take it 1 week at a time. You know, the way we are at present, we've just got to really get the roll going again and start with tonight. But you know, the championship's a long way off, and you know, we're not really looking that far ahead at this point in time.
Darryl van der Velde, whose team Castleford are 3 matches now without a win. They went out, of course, of the Regal Trophy semi-final last Saturday against Bradford. It's even worse for Warrington. Just 1 victory in their last 8 league and cup ties. But that was at Wigan, 11 points to 4 just the other Tuesday. So quite a match we have in prospect here, Steve-O. And looking at the 2 coaches, I would say that Brian Johnson looks a bit more relaxed than Darryl at the moment.
Well, Darryl feels that he wants to get his side back on the rails again. It was a sad loss to Bradford last week, and I think that they played exceptionally well, but they didn't take their chances. A lot of missed chances. I think we'll have a high-scoring game today. I think that both sides will keep the ball around. Warrington's only chance, in my opinion, is that they've got to score very, very quickly. It's a swirling wind. It's going to be very tricky, and I think we'll see a lot of up and unders.
So you think that early point for Warrington might just settle their nerves a bit here?
I think so. I think it's always good for an away side to get on the board as quickly as possible. And I think that once Warrington, their biggest problem all this season has been if their forwards don't fire, if they don't do the hard work, then they're onto a shellacking. They really do get behind. But if they can get the ball rolling, score first, then we could be in for a cracking game.
OK, Steve-O, then take us through the tactics then. How do you see the match going for both sides?
Well, as I say, I think the kicking game is going to be pretty important from side, but this is the move that Castleford used quite a lot. It's Nick Howe peeling off at the scrum base. He makes the run across, and you'll see how he pulls in the half-back to him and leaves the gap for Mike Ford. It's a great move. It's an old move, but they do it exceptionally well, linking together. Warrington, a little bit different. They use their hooker man. He'll take a run from the dummy half, very close to the line. You'll see him move across, and you'll use the 3/4 coming out wide, and he has an option. You'll see all the forwards parked behind. One will go onto the open side, and one will go on the blind. And it's usually Cullen coming through. Great try, good move.
So watch out for those moves then as this match unfolds. OK, time for you once again to lay that chin of yours on the line. The diet's coming along quite nicely, by the way.
£12.5 now. I'm pretty happy about it.
That's £12.50. Go on then. Give us a scoreline. How do you think it'll go?
I said before, and I think it'll be a pretty high-scoring game. I'm going to go for Castleford 22 points to 15.
22-15. OK, let's have a look at what all the other statistics tell us about this match. Beginning with the head-to-head in league meetings since 1973, you'll see that Warrington actually do hold the upper hand. 20 wins to 17 with 1 drawn. This season so far, Castleford third top, confirmation there. Warrington third bottom. Only 28 goals kicked for the wire this season. Big problem for them. Confirmation of their placings in the Big League Championship table. Castleford third. They're 5 points off the pace. And down at the bottom, you can see how vital this match is to Warrington. They have a game in hand, but they must pick up the points. Computer predicts now. Castleford 22 and Warrington 16. Pretty close to what Steve-O says. Steve-O says 22-15. The computer says 22-16. So you're almost in agreement with the computer for once.
Well, I think it might go down to the wire, and I think that 1 point will probably put Warrington in front, but Castleford will come back in the last 5 minutes. How's that? That's not pretty well good.
OK, so it's all on the way for you then here on Sky Sports tonight. We'll be talking, by the way, to the new Halifax coach, Malcolm Reilly, at half-time. But this is the Warrington dressing room, the boys getting ready for this match that's on show here at Weldon Road tonight. Big game for the lads from Warrington and their coach, Brian Johnson. We'll have the build-up, the team lineups for you right after these. These Castleford fans are used to cheering victories over Warrington here at Weldon Road. They've won the last 4 meetings between the two sides here, and they show 21 wins from 31 post-war league and cup matches here at this ground. Let's take a look at the Castleford side then that they have on duty tonight. Graham Steadman returns after injury. He is the fullback. St John Ellis is on the wing and ever present in the right wing berth for Castleford this season. Richie Blackmore is the tall, elegant Kiwi in the centre. He wears 3. And Tony Smith is his centre partner. He's failed to score in only 2 of the last 11 matches. John Ray completes the three-quarter line on the wing. He's played now in the last 8 matches. Peter Coyne is the Aussie from the St George Club, who is the standoff here at Castleford. And Mike Ford in his best scoring season of his career, 10 touchdowns for Mike Ford, the scrum half. Up front, Lee Crooks is the Castleford skipper. He wears 8, the Great Britain international. The hooker is Chris Watson, a former Cutsick amateur, and he is playing so well, he's keeping Graham Southernwood out of this Castleford side. Keith England is the other prop forward, wearing 10, Great Britain international with 11 caps to his credit. Tony Morrison is an ever-present, the former Swinton man in the second row. Alongside him is Martin Kettridge, a man who's kicked 400 goals in his career for Castleford, but none so far this season. And Taweri Nikau completes the lineup for Castleford, the Kiwi, loose forward in 13. The coach, the Australian Darrell van der Velde, his driving ambition is to win the big league title here in England. They're turning out in force for this match. Castleford against Warrington. Friday night's big league special on Sky Sports. Live and exclusive. And this is the Warrington side hoping to bounce back after that defeat against Leeds last week. Lee Penny, the full-back. Chris Rudd, he takes his place on the wing. He's in 2. The Welshman, Alan Bateman, ran in a try against Leeds last week, is in 3. Tony Thornley, the man who is now kicking the goals at Warrington, 15 successful kicks for him so far. He's in 4. And Mark Forster, former Great Britain international, won his 2 caps in 1987. He's on the wing in 5. The Welshman, Kevin Ellis, playing only his 3rd game since October when he was injured. He's back at standoff, though, now, because the halfback role has gone to the Australian Greg Mackey in his 2nd spell at Warrington. Won the Lancashire Cup with them in 1989, then went off to the North East to Hull, where he really did make his name. Prop forward is Neil Harmon. Harmon wearing 8, born in St Helens. The hooker is Dwayne Mann, 21 consecutive New Zealand caps and 90th consecutive appearance for his club here tonight. Bob Jackson, the club captain, is back after injury, takes his place from the start. He's the prop forward in 10. Paul Cullen, another try scorer against Leeds last week. He's in the 2nd row these days, wearing 11. Alongside him is Gary Sanderson, an ever-present, only 3 ever-presents in this Warrington side. Sanderson is one of them. And Kelly Shelford completes the lineup. He's the loose forward, another Kiwi international, and the coach. It's an all-Australian coaching affair tonight. Brian Johnson, also from the Southern Hemisphere. Bob Jackson leading out Warrington in their change strip tonight of red and green. Grim faces all. They know how important this match is for them tonight. They must win to get away from the wrong end of the First Division table. Let's check the substitutes for you now. Castleford have Giles Boothroyd and Dean Sampson on the bench. Warrington with Paul Derbyshire and Gary Chambers. And Lee Crooks leading out the Castleford side. Castleford without a win in 3 matches now. The last time they won in the big league was against St Helens here before Christmas. They have been impressive here at home. Just 1 defeat, that against Salford in September. And Bob Jackson came all the way from Australia in the 80s, formerly with Fulham, joined Warrington in 1984. He's played in 6 major finals for the Warrington side since his arrival. They don't come much bigger than Lee Crooks. 18 caps for his country now, an international for the past 10 years. A try and 4 goals, remember, for England against Wales earlier this season. And Dwayne Mann, he almost struggled onto the field last week after injury against Wigan, but he put up a tremendous display. And notice, although Jackson is the club captain, it's Dwayne Mann who is captaining the side on the field here tonight. Match referee has travelled a long way to be here. Peter Gilmore from Workington was in charge of the Salford-Lee relegation battle in midweek at the Willows. And Greg Mackey, the man who really does make Warrington tick, Mike Stevenson.
Certainly does, Eddie. He's the architect of all the Warrington attack, especially in the 3 quarters. Very good player indeed. Loves to make the half break in support of his forwards. But that man, Tawira Nikau, what a key player he is for Castleford. Loves to run out wide, and if Warrington don't get to him very quickly, he can tear them to shreds.
Well, Castleford aiming then tonight to put the disappointment of falling at the final hurdle in the Regal Trophy behind them last Saturday. Had enough chances that day to win 10 matches, but bombed them all. And the wind, which we've been talking about all evening since we've come on the air at 7 o'clock, causing problems. The ball falling over at the kickoff, but now we're underway, and the first touch for Tawiri Nikau. And this is the sorting out period. This is the time when the forwards show their mettle. John Ray, the Castleford winger. This is Tony Smith. Jackson going in heavily, and so too Neil Harmon. Ball laid back to Graham Steadman. He just hacks it downfield. Chris Rudd picks up off the wing. A good chase from Castleford.
Excellent chasing, but a good kick by Steadman there. Put it right down into the corner.
They'll be glad to see Steadman back after injury. Came on as a substitute last week in that semi-final. Almost turned the game Castleford's way. Simon Middleton, the man who has been playing full-back for the majority of this season, he now is out injured. That's good tackle by Tony Morrison on Greg Mackey. Dwayne Mann, Kevin Ellis. Notice plenty of the players wearing these long cycle shorts. There's another of them, Greg Mackey. Just hacks the ball downfield. Steadman in no rush to take it because St John Ellis is there.
So important, this kicking game there. You saw Mackey just lob the ball into open spaces. They try so hard now not to make sure that the ball goes down the throat of the fullbacks.
Here's Lee Crooks. Hauled to the ground by Mann and Jackson. Chris Watson gets the ball away to the prop forward Keith England. And now it's with Mike Ford, and here's Peter Coyne to Warrington on the burst. Blackmore there in support, and he drops the ball. The referee said it went backwards, so Castleford allowed to continue this attack.
Well, a bit fortunate there. I thought Blackmore did knock on, but that was a lovely move by Castleford. The link again with Coyne and Ford getting it out to Nichow is so dangerous out wide.
The towering up and under. Castleford keep the ball alive. Crooks finds Smith, and then Crooks hacks on again. Really thought that could have been almost a knock-on against Tony Smith, but the referee let play continue, and Warrington deep in their own 20-metre area now. The run from Harmon. Now Mackey, Cullen, quick hands Warrington, Bateman. That was a great challenge though by John Ray.
Did well, did the winger there. Oh, Jackson took his eyes off the ball, knock on, bad mistake. Puts his left hand up to his mates, teammates fully aware of it. You could see that his eyes were looking at the attackers coming towards him.
These two sides on view on Sky Sports tonight have never been out of that first division, the big league. And it's a penalty at the scrum against Greg Mackey.
Well, I think the referee, Peter Gilmore, has pinned Warrington there because they broke away from the scrum before the ball was clear. You could see Castleford setting up to the move where they're loose forward. Tawila Nichow picks the ball up at the base of the scrum.
So big demand on this Warrington defence already. This is Keith England. Playing only his second game, Keith England, since October. This now is Lee Crooks with the run. Oh, Mike Ford would have been in there. Had he been able to hang on to that, Ford would have been over for a 4-pointer under the sticks.
Oh, lovely play by Lee Crooks there. He threw the dummy. The ball came away and it just came over the top of the shoulder. That was a try that has gone begging. But good play by the veteran prop forward Crooks.
Well, it's those sort of chances that cost Castleford a place in the trophy final. And they've bombed another one here, but Kevin Ellis has got Peter Coyne all round him. And a Castleford player, I think it's Keith England, is down there. He's injured and will need treatment. That's a good kick downfield, meanwhile, from Mackey.
Good thinking there by the Australian halfback. You see, pushed it well away from Graham Steadman. No opportunity to take that. But what a chance gone begging from Castleford. The Warrington defence were just caught napping there. The big prop forward Crooks threw the dummy, made the half break. The support was there, but Ford just couldn't grab it in.
England is all right again, takes his place in the pack there, the number 10 for Castleford. It's now with Peter Coyne, met head-on by Kevin Ellis. Now to Warrington, big favourite here. Kettridge just stopped by Bateman and by Jackson. Steadman was the dummy half. Mike Ford, little scampering run from the halfback. Castleford in possession with Crooks, have beaten Warrington by 40 points in 2 of their last 3 meetings, including 40 points to 8 here last March. Nichow, long pass out to St. John Ellis. St. John Ellis trying to get away from them, gets the pass out to Blackmore, to Ford and to Steadman, and Cullen uncompromising in the challenge on the Great Britain international fullback. Coyne finds Ellis, dabs one over the top, does Ellis. Penny is there to collect, the Warrington fullback. Good run from the youngster, this. Excellent run to halfway from Lee Penny.
Good play by the young Warrington fullback. Good position to take that kick. St. John Ellis nearly had the option, but a great break by the fullback Penny.
Cullen picks himself up. Dwayne Mann, the dummy half. Mackey to Ellis. Sanderson there on the inside. Ellis hangs on. Sanderson now is the dummy half. This is Mackie and Bateman. Had a fine season, Alan Bateman, in a side that generally has struggled. Dwayne Mann dabs one over the top. Rudd is the runner, and Steadman just watching it carefully as it crosses dead in goal.
Well, the idea was there by the hooker man. Little chip over. Chris Rudd, the winger, knew exactly what was happening there, just a little bit too strong.
It's his Chris Watson, now Mike Ford. The runner was Keith England. Whoa, and somebody felt that. It was Neil Harmon, the prop forward, who took that challenge from England and has not recovered yet. Castleford swinging the ball out wide, but handling errors, not the best. Watch this, though.
He's obviously caught the knee. Big beefy England there coming in full tilt. That hurts.
Harmon's hardly moved, and Castleford are caught offside.
Little doubt there, the referee caught the centre, Tony Smith. Well and truly sneaking up out wide there. Well, an enterprising opening from both sides. Castleford with that one missed chance.
Harmon still receiving treatment. It was a heavy collision. Took the full force of it on his shoulder, England's thigh. He's on his feet, but looking a bit groggy, Harmon. The Warrington prop forward. Signed 6 years ago. 4 under-21 international caps for him in the late 80s. This is Tony Thornley, though, with this penalty attempt. And he's pushed it wide. And goal-kicking cost Warrington dearly in that match against Leeds last week. But as far as the Castleford supporters are concerned, well, you see what the message is. The sky's the limit. It certainly is on the big league on a Friday night. But goal-kicking, Mike, a problem. What was it we saw on our caption? 28 goals. That's all they've managed this season, Warrington.
It has been a problem, and as you mentioned last week, it was vital. If they would have taken their chances in the goal-kicking department, they would have sneaked a win against Leeds.
Dwayne Mann, the dummy half, Mackie and Sanderson. Coming up to 10 minutes on the watch then. 0-0. The only chance that's gone a begging. One for Castleford when Mike Ford couldn't hang on, and the penalty for Warrington that Thornley missed.
Excellent play there by Bateman. He looked as though he'd lost that. It was a work move coming on the inside of Kelly Shelford, but at the second attempt, he just dragged it in.
A high one for Graham Steadman in the wind that's on view here tonight. They will be fairly difficult for the full-backs, and look at the power of Rudd and Bateman as they push Steadman back. It's an enterprising start, this, from Warrington. Oh, that's good play from Crooks, though. He brought Tony Smith into it. Must have heard the call from Smith. Just slipped the inside pass.
Excellent support play. It really has been a find this season, Smith.
Richie Blackmore sidestepping, jinking, releasing Mike Ford. There's support here. Castleford must be in. Well, if Nakao would have picked up the pass, I'm sure he'd have been in. But Ford decided to hang on. They're still not finished, Castleford. This is Crooks. There are men out wide. Smith gets the ball out to Steadman. Oh, they've bombed it again. Well, they haven't learned the lesson of that Regal semi-final last Saturday.
Well, I can't believe it, the Castleford fans, and neither can I. First of all, we saw Mike Ford try to throw the dummy with 2 men coming towards him. He had the loose forward Tawira Nikau there outside. I'm sure that would have been a try. Here we see the replay. Fullback Steadman trying to bring the wingman inside. He didn't come inside. That's the result.
Well, that's 2 chances Castleford have put down. In an amazing spell in that semi-final last Saturday, I counted they bombed 3 tries in about 5 minutes. Can Warrington make them pay here with Bateman? Good run from the Welshman, well stopped by Steadman and Morrison. This is Mackey, taking it back down that right-wing channel. It's now with Penny. Dwayne Mann. Mackey will spread the ball out wide to Shelford. Thornley was the runner. And a good job that Coyne hung on to him after he blasted Nickow out of the way. This is Sanderson. Now Shelford. Kelly Shelford using his strength. That's how close Warrington are in possession with Ellis. Ellis, a little dummy, dabbed the ball forward, but I think it was a knock-on. He tried, I think, to fox the referee, but just lost his grip on the football. There it is.
Well, he threw the dummy, went through the gap and tried to get it round the man, just going forward. But excellent play by Warrington. What a great break by the centre, Alan Bateman, to put him in that position.
Coyne picks himself up gingerly, seems to get a bang in the ribs with a knee then. This is the second rower, Martin Kettridge. Ford, not the best pass in the world. Nickow tried to get it back to Steadman, and luckily for Castleford, Steadman got to it first. It's the fifth tackle.
Well, the problems for Castleford continue. They really haven't got it all sorted out, and that's a charge down.
Yes, Dwayne Mann charged the kick ahead down, and Warrington in possession and deep in Castleford territory, running strongly with Sanderson. Cullen on his own from dummy half. Mann and Shelford. Good tackling, Castleford. Crooks. Shelford taking it to himself, unloading the pass to Morrison, but knock on is the referee's decision.
Good play here by the referee, Peter Gilmore. Crooks should have been penalised there, but he allowed the play on. He could see that the hooker man was gaining momentum and the chance there, but he's given it the second rower. Has knocked on for Castleford. 6 more now for Warrington.
Yes, Warrington's head and feed. Mackey gets the possession back, misses out Ellis, finds Bateman.
Well, a bit of misunderstanding there with the Warrington pack. Mackey peeled off, expecting Shelford to pick the ball up, and he wasn't there. Never even moved in the loose forward.
Quarter of an hour gone, 0-0. Warrington on the attack, though, 10 metres out. In possession now with Harmon.
This is where Warrington used the dummy runner, and the one coming on the inside. Watch for man running.
And that's Paul Cullen. So close, Warrington. So much pressure. In possession with Mackey. Long pass out to Rudd. John Ray stopped him in his tracks. A little bit of help, too, from Tony Smith. Good defence, Castleford. Mackey taps the ball forward. Cullen was the runner, and Steadman had to be brave and was.
Nice little kick through there, but equal to the task was Graham Steadman. Wonderful positioning there.
Warrington now will want to keep Castleford in this danger zone. Harmon again with that shoulder, stopping Crooks. Harmon looks like he's completely recovered. Morrison is the runner. Nickow.
Well, after the very bright start from Castleford, where they were getting this ball out wide, they've dropped into a little bit of a problem by playing it in the forwards. That's got to be a penalty.
Yes, Jackson didn't release Nickow, and Mann was in there as well. Nickow trying to get away to play the ball. Had to be a penalty.
It could have gone the other way, of course, but Jackson obviously kept hold of the shirt. Nickow was using the arm that was carrying the ball. Maybe the odd elbow was brushing down that man's nose, perhaps.
Keith England, well, he was hit a bit late there by Mackey. and the referee agrees. Mackie coming in as the second man after the tackle completed and flopping on the tackle player. Here he is.
Yeah, it's just a wasted effort there by Greg Mackie. The Australian wouldn't be displeased with that. That really has put Castleford in a very good attacking position. It's those silly mistakes that could pay.
This Kettridge. It's Castleford now who are on the attack, 10 metres short of that Warrington line. In possession with Crooks, trying to crash his way over. Watson, back to Smith. Smith looking out here for the man in support, St John Ellis, and there was nobody there. Ellis was almost back on the halfway line. Steadman now.
Well, it was obviously a planned move there, and the centre Smith was waiting for the runners, then it just didn't appear.
Ford and Coyne. Back to Ford. There's Tony Smith. That was good tackling by Bateman again. Ford again. This is the last one. Can Castleford make it pay? Coyne dabs one forward side-footed, and Warrington content to simply shepherd the ball dead with Chris Rudd.
Nice little kick there by the Australian Coyne, but Rudd just got back in time. He didn't connect quite the way he'd like, but it came off for him. Well, Castleford, Eddie, they're looking very, very eager to get all these moves in, but quite frankly, I think they'd be better off just getting back down to basics, doing a bit of hard work. That's the third or fourth time that we've seen Castleford make a mess of the move.
Steadman doing the hard work now, taking that ball back from the halfway line. That's the Warrington quarter line that Lee Crooks is about to cross. Possession, even Steven after 18 minutes, and it's 0-0 on the scoreboard too. Nick Howe. Coyne, Blackmore. This is St John Ellis. Stopped by Bob Jackson. Watson, the dummy half. Ford and Coyne. Morrison's there, misses him out, finds Crooks. Crooks on the run to the line, looked to touch high. Referee says play on, it's the last tackle. Ford, another one forward for the runners to chase. Oh, almost. Great run that from Johnny Ray.
Was a great little kick, wasn't it? Ford took the blindside option, and look at the winger there, Ray. Not far off it either.
So for the past 5 minutes or so, it's been all Castleford, but it stays at 0-0. End to end, no doubt about that. And one of the Castleford injured players, Simon Middleton, who can't take his place in the Castleford side tonight, is watching from sideline, and with him is Bill Arthur.
Simon, it's really close, looks very tight so far.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be like that all night tonight. End-to-end stuff, really. Not a lot in it at all.
And yet, Cass have had 2 chances already, and it's that old thing, isn't it? You haven't taken them.
Well, it's just like a continuation of last week, really. You know, the thing is, if you don't take your chances, it proved last week that you're not going to win games. And so we've had 2 really good chances, and we've just got to really be more clinical with his finishing, really.
Thanks, Simon.
It's Sanderson who is in possession for Warrington. Now Dwayne Mann. This is Mackie. Mann, and he's brought Forster into it. Mark Forster, the winger. Warrington again, so close to that Castleford line. They spread the ball out wide with Ellis. This is Thornley. Tony Thornley bringing it all the way back. Crashes into Blackmore. Good job, Blackmore held on to him, and the referee has given Warrington a penalty. Holding down, I think England the man this time, penalised.
Well, Blackmore goes across, then goes low. Good run by Thornley, though. There's the big man there, Keith England, flopping well and truly over the top. They'll take the option for the 2 points. And why not? They've weathered the early attack from Castleford as Warrington.
So another chance for Tony Thornley, the centre. a man from Woolston Amateurs in the Warrington area. Made his debut in very unusual circumstances, made his home debut, in fact, at Main Road, Manchester, against Barrow in 1987. The Wilderspool pitch was frozen solid. The match moved to the undersoil carpet at Main Road. Tony Thornley then, and he's kicked it this time. The flags go up on the far side. His 16th goal of the season, and Warrington lead by 2 points to 0.
Well taken, 2 points there. It was made actually by Tony Thornley with that run all across the face of the Castleford post. Even though it was a good tackle by Richie Blackmore that stopped his progress. Just those silly mistakes, they can create so many problems for the side. And Castleford well and truly realise now that they're in a very hard game tonight.
Oh, and that's a mistake from the Warrington players. Sanderson watched that all the way. It just bounced in the field of play and then bounced dead. Be a drop out from underneath the sticks.
Well, it always amazes me why people don't stand in the in-goal area anyway. It's far easier to move forward than it is running backwards. I'm sure that their coach, Brian Johnson, will be showing that videotape a few times at training next week.
So it's Kelly Shelford who drops out from underneath his own posts, reaches halfway. But of course, Castleford in possession with Stedman. More pressure from Warrington. And the little use of the elbow there by Greg Mackey is seen by referee Gilmore.
Well, there you can see quite clearly Greg Mackey. He's lost a little bit of his cool today. That's the second occasion that he's been caught for foul play. Don't know what he had for Christmas, but certainly fired him up.
Darrell van der Velde on the left of your picture alongside his club chairman David Poulter. Van der Velde with the walkie-talkie, keeping in touch with the bench, passing on the words of wisdom which in turn get passed on to the players out there on the field. Remember, Warrington only successful now with 29 goals so far this season, and Lee Crooks, as you saw on our caption there, has slotted over 67 successful kicks. This wind is causing problems again, Mike.
Sorry, Eddie, I'm just saying that Castleford seem to have just dropped down a gear. They started off really with a bang. They're making the breaks, getting the ball out wide, and they've gone back into their shell. A little bit confused, frustrated, a little bit of panic football coming their way.
Hooker Chris Watson then with the fingertip control for Lee Crooks. Crooks a languid style as he comes up to take the kicks, but it's effective. Scores a level. Well, the one touch judge said it was over and the other touch judge didn't. No goal. The point's wiped off. Let's have a look.
Well, that looks over to me.
Well, it was one touch judge who said yay, the other touch judge said nay, and it was the touch judge who was actually right underneath the post in question that said yes. The other touch judge kept the flag down. So, nil point for Castleford.
Bit of controversy there, but at least Castleford do get the ball back from the dropout.
Well, if that doesn't rile them and fire them, nothing will. This is Tony Smith. That's great tackling, though, on that far side. Crooks disgusted with the decision, and Castleford have surrendered possession again.
Once again, we saw a little bit of panic football. Richie Blackmore there really hadn't it. Should have gone down to ground on that one, trying to get the ball away. They're just panicking now. Look at that. Wasn't even looking at the support player.
Paul Cullen got a hand to that. It went straight to a Warrington player. So it's with Warrington and Neil Harmon. Now with Mackey. Mackey saw a big gap. Wind perhaps behind him. It's not run dead. That's a good kick from Mackey. Warrington will have to chase and keep Steadman down there, but that's high from Cullen. Oh, the swinging arm from Paul Cullen.
And well spotted by the referee, Peter Gilmore, there. The intent was definite. You see on the replay, Steadman steps right into this one. Whoa! And just got underneath it.
So Warrington with the 2-point advantage, courtesy of the Tony Thornley penalty. Lee Crooks, I suppose if one touch judge said yes and one said no, we should have got 1 point for that. But it's 2-0 Warrington, and Castleford on the charge with Tony Smith, who's lost a boot. Peter Coyne now. Nice run from Coyne. It's Ketteridge who feeds Smith. Great tackling, and the ball lost as well. A 4-pointer saved there by a great tackle.
Wonderful tackle, but he should have kept hold of that, Mike Ford. But let's give him credit for supporting the second rower, Martin Ketteridge.
Wonderful tackle from Bob Jackson, though, Mike.
Tremendous. He spun him over. The ball bounced away. And the agony continues for Castleford in the last game, where the semi-final against Bradford, they really did bomb so many chances. It's continuing tonight.
And here now comes Tony Thornley, who helps it to Mark Forster. Well, 3 chances for Castleford and 3 chances gone begging. Last one for Warrington. Ellis hammers the ball downfield. John Ray gets a fingertip to it. The ball did go back towards his own post. He's allowed to carry on, but great chase from Alan Bateman to bring him down. Now Steadman. Warrington getting stuck in, Mike, aren't they?
Well, they're moving up quickly as the game's progressing now. They're building in confidence. Castleford having a few problems. They're making the breaks.
And Crooks has lost that one.
And there you can see Crooks just appealing to the touch judge to use his eyes. Obvious to me that Mackey was interfering there, but not seen by the touch judge or the referee.
It's now with Mackey and Ellis. Bob Jackson on his haunches says, leave me out of this one. And he's found Bateman. Bateman with Lee Penny in support. Penny with the speed, and Penny with the try. Well, Warrington haven't bombed their chances. Castleford have, and Warrington over under the sticks. Lee Penny's 3rd try of the season.
Stone's bit of championship replay. Lovely play by Bateman. They put the switch back onto the blind side, then the switch, the link from Mackey to Ellis. It was a long ball out wide, and the step there. Tony Morrison not equal to the task. Beautiful step there by the Welsh centre. Good support play by the full-back, and the youngster will enjoy this, and rightly so. Excellent try. Good support by the man in the screen there, Lee Penny.
Man who came up through the academy and the alliance sides at Wilderspool. Thornley adds the extra 2, and Warrington suddenly have a grip on this match. They lead by 8 points to 0. On my watch, half an hour gone. Well, Castleford could pay dearly, Mike, for those missed chances. 3 tries have been bombed, and they've also had that penalty, of course, where there was some debate about whether it went over or not. But Lee Penny there really did well.
Yes, controversy over whether Lee Krupp's penalty had gone over. The 2 points, should it have gone to Castleford? No doubt about that, though. Warrington gaining their points. That was excellent play by Bateman. He just stepped around the second rower, Morrison. They paid the price also, Eddie. Castleford, they hung back, even though that the ball had come out to the blind side. When they did the switch, the defence didn't move up. They just hung back and paid the price.
Well, that kickoff obviously caught in the breeze too, and Greg Mackey had to be alert and came streaking out from his own try line to collect that on the quarter mark. Warrington are down to 12 men at the moment. Bob Jackson is apparently answering the call of nature. And Gary Chambers has been told to stay on the bench, and Bob Jackson now is back. And Warrington up to strengthen with man in possession.
That was great play by the prop, Neil Harmon, to send the hooker man through that gap. Made the half break with the prop.
They are finding holes, aren't they? And they are managing to get through and over the advantage line, Warrington, at the moment. They're dictating the pattern of this game. Mackey's kick ahead, and he was taken out in back play. It's a penalty to Warrington.
Good thinking there by the little Australian. It was Tony Smith that came through, held him back. Touch judge was quick to come in on that one.
And Morrison being spoken to by the official. Smith and Morrison certainly formed the roadblock for him. Morrison pulled out, former Swinton forward, ever present here at Weldon Road this season.
Well, it was definitely Smith that held him back. Morrison must have come in on that blind side. Also giving him one for his corner. But it's a big psychological problem now for the Castleford players. They know that they've bombed so many chances in this game, as they did last weekend. It really is a matter of their coach, Daryl van der Velde, getting to his players, especially at the half-time break, get back to some hard work. Believe you me, they're very confused at the moment.
Daryl van der Velde not looking too happy with things, is he? The man on the left of your picture. And this is Tony Thornley now, to try and take Warrington into double figures. But he misses. And was that another one that was a bit iffy? The crowd reaction tells you that perhaps it was. 2 out of 4 now for Thornley. 8-0, still the advantage for Warrington. Well, the crowd buzzing, Mike, about that decision again from the touch judges.
Well, it wasn't a very high kick. I just got the impression perhaps that both the touch judges were confused looking into the floodlights. They're not all that high here at Weldon Road, just above the stand, in fact.
It doesn't really matter now, of course. It's, as they say in the papers tomorrow, it's 8-0 at the moment. On my watch, just a little over 5 minutes to go to half-time. Warrington ahead by 8 points to 0. Shelford with the kick ahead. Bateman following up. The ball came out of the grasp of John Ray. Knock on, says referee Gilmore. But was he offside, the chaser? This is the kick, Mike. Let's take a look.
Well, it looks to me as though it was just kind of way onto the right-hand side. It took an ancient time, didn't it, for the touch judges? But it is a problem with those lights, Eddie, that a bank of them just above that stand in your screen there.
It's a penalty at the scrum to Castleford. Actually, Peter Gilmore in the Salford-Lee match on Wednesday night, Mike, at the Willows, was very hot on those penalties at the scrum. There were quite a few in evidence that night, and there's been quite a few in evidence here tonight already.
Makes you wonder who it is these days. Who's the fearless leader of the referees?
Crooks and Jackson. Crooks tangling with the Australian. Didn't like that challenge. Referee says play on. Mike Ford trying to jink away from Dwayne Mann. Got the pass out to Kettridge. Nick Howe. Coyne. Blackmore is there in support. He feeds Blackmore. Again, Blackmore's looking round for his winger. St. John Ellis has drifted in field. There he is. That was Watson who hung on. Blackmore now to Ford. And this is Morrison running strongly.
It's vital for Castleford's confidence that they score just before the half-time break. Be a big lift for them.
This is the last tackle. They're running it. Little kick over the top from Nick Howe, but it runs dead.
Just a little bit too strong there by the Kiwi. It's well covered by the fullback Lee Penny and everything under control. Wouldn't be happy with that to Nick Howe.
Paul Cullen is an uncompromising forward for Warrington. This is Neil Harmon. Well, he took a bang on the shoulder early on when he stopped Keith, or tried to stop Keith England. He's fully recovered now. Here's Kelly Shelford.
Warrington quite happy just to play one-out football at this point in time. They realise it's not long before the half-time break. They'll be happy with this 8-point lead.
Sanderson, now Dwayne Mann at dummy half, and Mackey feeds Harmon. Last tackle for Warrington. Harmon. Well, the touch judge was on that far side. What on earth he was on for, only he alone knows. Didn't come on with the flag held aloft, so no infringement, but he obviously wanted to talk to somebody.
Well, that was amazing. The touch judge from the far side was that there's the man in your screen. He came on and was talking to someone in the Warrington side while the game was being played. He ignored Peter Gilmore, the referee, had a little conversation with someone. This is what the penalty's all about.
Now Blackmore. Blackmore looking for an opening. It was good tackling by Thornley, and I think he took a bang in the ribs there as he brought Blackmore down. He's still in trouble. Brian Johnson with his chairman Peter Hyam watching as Warrington defend against this attack. But Blackmore put the ball to ground, but fortunately for him it went behind him. Now Ford and Steadman.
They look totally lost to Castleford.
Lee Crooks. Straight driving run from Crooks. He let the ball go, but Warrington have it back. And they have it back with Chris Rudd. We're approaching half-time. On my watch, we're in the closing minute of this first half. It's been a good half from a Warrington point of view, but 3 Castleford try chances have been let slip by. And that's why Warrington hold an 8-point lead. A try from Lee Penny and 2 goals from Tony Thornley. In possession they are again, Warrington, with Cullen. Greg Mackey using the wind, and I'm afraid not using the wind to full advantage. Was caught and went out on the full.
A little bit too strong there, Mackey. You could see that he went on the blind side first, just as the ball was being played. Switched to play across, gave himself plenty of time. Wasn't under any pressure at all. There's the score, 8-0. Warrington very happy with that.
And we're in stoppage time. What a boost it would be for Castleford if they could get over the line for a try right on the stroke of the interval. Here's Keith England. There is the half-time siren. And so it's Warrington who hold the advantage at the break by 8-0. Keith England's worked hard. Greg Mackey has worked hard, though, for Warrington, and he's had a little word there with referee Peter Gilmore, who is being escorted off the field by a couple of policemen for some reason. But anyway, it's half-time here at Weldon Road, and it's Castleford 0, Warrington 8. Half-time at Weldon Road, Castleford 0, Warrington 8. Castleford really might rue the chances that they missed in that first half come the end of this evening. Lee Penny and Tony Thornley, though, with the points for Warrington, won't be complaining at this point in time. Some match facts from that first half. Tackling shared just about equally. Scrums going Castleford's way 3-1. Penalties Castleford's way 7-4. And handling errors, perhaps crucially, Castleford's way 6-2. Possession, though, Warrington saw 51% of the football compared to 49% of Castleford while it was in play. And there is Father Christmas. I thought you were supposed to bring your decorations down on the 6th of January. but obviously not here at Castleford. And Santa Claus watching carefully from behind the stands here at Weldon Road. And if you look at those posts, Mike, just to the left of Santa Claus as we watch, they are moving quite dramatically in the wind, and because of that, the touch judges are saying that that is what's causing the confusion and the delay as far as the goal-kicking decisions are concerned.
No comment.
Dwayne Mann waiting for Castleford to emerge, and the cheering in the background tells you that Castleford are out for this second half. And they've made a couple of changes, Castleford. Giles Boothroyd is on. And I'm just checking across. I think that Dean Sampson is out there too. So 2 Castleford substitutions at half-time. No doubt Darrell van der Velde has read the riot act to his players, because dropsy has continued here at Weldon Road after the semi-final last week.
And rightly so. He'd be far from impressed from the first 40 minutes.
So 40 minutes ahead. Will it be Warrington who will climb up the table a bit with 2 points? Or will it be Castleford who will get their title challenge, fading though it might be, back on course with a win? They've got to come from behind, of course, to do that. 8-0, Warrington lead. In possession with Mann.
Well, we said before the game, Eddie, that Warrington were really desperate for those points, and that really has been the difference between the two sides. Warrington have come out wanting to win, and I'm afraid Castleford appear to have come out expecting themselves to win.
The ball has gone to ground. I think it was a knock-on, and it came about on the last tackle, so the turnover.
Well, the best of passes, was it? Pretty hard for Tony Thornilly to get down that far. A bad mistake there. It's going to be hard for Castleford. They really have got to step up a gear and start some work. Roll the sleeves up, because that's what's been missing. Good, hard, solid graft.
Well, the road to Wembley for these two sides begins at Wilderspool in a fortnight's time. They've been drawn in the first round of the Challenge Cup, so apart from league points tonight, important psychological advantage for the first round of that glittering competition. Castleford, last year's beaten Wembley finalists, would love to get back there. A difficult tie in 2 weeks at Wilderspool. Blackmore in possession, but it's very scrappy, and Warrington have picked up, and they've been forced into touch. Tony Thornilly just couldn't keep in there.
Well, another mistake, allow Warrington get in there. They'll be upset though, Warrington, really. Thornilly should have stepped back inside. There really wasn't much room. Chance gone there to keep possession.
Peter Coyne stopped by his opposite number, Ellis, with a little bit of help from Kelly Shelford. Blackmore now and Nick Howe. Morrison was the runner, and it was high, the tackle on Morrison. The referee has blown for the penalty.
Well, that's on the shoulders for mine. Paul Cullen got up from that tackle. May have finished up above it, but you could see with the head-on shot on that first replay. Cullen can't believe it. He made the tackle and just ran back into the 10 yards, into the defensive line. He must be a little bit bemused and confused as I am. Nonetheless, referee Peter Gilmore giving Castleford another chance to get their first points on the board.
Courtesy of the boot of Lee Crooks. Ryan Johnson busy on the walkie-talkie. Down to his assistant Clive Griffiths on the bench, no doubt, passing the information, passing the words, insisting on the tactics. Both coaches busy on their walkie-talkies tonight. Lee Crooks then ambles up to this penalty attempt. And this time, it's straight, it's true, and it's right between those posts. They might be waving about in the wind, but there was no doubt then Castleford with their first points of the evening then, and 4 minutes on my watch of the second half. Paul Cullen, the penalty for the high tackle, and made to pay with 2 points.
Well, they'll be thankful for those 2 points, Castleford. They've had the opportunities, as you mentioned, in that first half, Eddie. There we see how strong the wind is. Really is getting up now, even worse than it was in the first half. That will give Warrington a little bit of a lift. They'll use the kicking game a lot. They're in the lead.
The kick-off with a low trajectory, but Richie Blackmore has it, and Bill Arthur is downstairs, and he has news from the dressing rooms.
Well, ironically, I was just hearing that the half-time message in the Warrington dressing room was keep up the good first half work, keep up the tackling, and don't give away any silly penalties, which is exactly what they've done in the opening minutes of the second half to give Cass a chance to get the points on the board, which is exactly what they wanted to do. The emphasis from the Cass dressing room was they've got to get an early score in the second half. Courtesy of one of those silly penalties that the Wyres were supposed to avoid, Cass have just done that.
And they're in possession, Castleford, right on halfway with Coyne. And that ball bounced off the back of a Warrington defender. The referee says it will be 6 more. 6 more for Castleford. They're in possession with Dean Sampson. 1992 British Lion tourist, Sampson. Now Crooks, another man, one of the men on the tour. This now is Kettridge. Good tackling by Neil Harmon. Chris Watson trying to go on his own from dummy half. Stopped 10 metres out. Morrison is the runner. He went for chasing, looking for Mike Ford's little kick ahead.
Good kick by Ford, but Chris Rudd, the winger, did come in and read it well. Dropped very low for that. It's a planned move. You can see on the replay, lovely kick through there. Nice positioning there by the winger Rudd.
So Warrington trying to drive the football away from their own line. That there is the Warrington 20-metre line. This is Kelly Shelford. It's the last tackle. It's with Mackey. And he kept the ball low. Obviously, Warrington are playing into the teeth of the gale now. Steadman in possession for Castleford. Blackmore dummy half. Mike Ford. Well, Castleford for a moment have stopped running. Ford looked for someone charging up on his inside. There was no one there. There is now. This is Sampson.
Well, at least Sampson is moving forward, but he should never have tried to get that ball away there. They are just not respecting this possession.
Harmon now. Shelford delayed the pass for Alan Bateman. Bateman's heading for the corner. Steadman's after him. Bateman's quick. Oh, great ball in field. Chris Rudd touches down. Try Warrington. Bateman's created another. Wonderful run from a standing start from Bateman. And as Steadman closed in for the kill, Bateman said to Rudd, you get in and score it.
Stone's Bitter Championship replay. The ball spins out wide, and that man in the centre is Alan Bateman. Steps back inside. The loose forward, Tawira Nikau, was all at sea. He did the right thing. He knew that he was going to go on the angle. Bring the wingman inside, Chris Rudd. Excellent play. Good support that by the winger. But the way you'll see that Bateman runs, he runs for the corner. He realises he drags the fullback across, that the wingman will be there. The shout is on, the looped pass. Good play, excellent try.
Chris Rudd, the little dart across the in-goal area, just improved the angle sufficiently for Tony Thornley. If we can ever come to grips with this wind. Tremendous try from Warrington. and created by the Welshman Alan Bateman, who is moving up here to hold the ball for Thornley as he takes this conversion attempt. Two out of four for Thornley. And he's pulled that one too. That's a bad miss. No matter that there's wind, he should have put that one over. But Warrington have a 10-point advantage.
Well, you can see here that the two Castleford defenders have been pushed in. That's the gap. And watch this man go through it. Excellent play. Bateman, wonderful play. Runs to the corner. Notice how Rudd comes on the inside. Shouts for the ball. Well executed, well taken.
So Castleford kick off. Get this second half restarted. 9.5 minutes gone. And Warrington have taken what could be a crucial 10-point lead here. But 2 out of 5 for Thornley in the goal-kicking department. This is Mackey. Now Sanderson, the runner. Dwayne Mann to Kelly Shelford. Shelford on the run. Oh, that's good play. He's found Thornley. Thornley has brought Forster into it. And that's the last tackle for Warrington. Ellis will drill the ball in towards the corner and finds touch.
Keeping up the pressure all the time in the world there. Ellis took just one step. Put the boot to ball. Excellent play by Warrington. They really have been playing well. And full credit to Alan Bateman. That's the second time he's made the break to create the try. And really, Bateman has gone through a forwards attempted tackle, Eddie. And that must make me wonder, where were the centres, Richie Blackmore and Tony Smith, on both occasions?
Well, Warrington, so impressive in front of our cameras last season. They've only won one at Hull, and they've lost their last 4 appearances on the big league. But they're on their way here to redressing that balance somewhat. It's 12 points to 2, they lead. But it's Castleford now in possession with Peter Coyne. Lee Penny, scorer of the first half try. Nick Howe slips, but just manages to grasp the ankles of the youngster as he went by him, brought him down. Nick Howe working hard at the play the ball, bringing Forster down that time. He's after Jackson, and he's got him. 3 good tackles from the Kiwi.
Well, he's certainly leading by example, and that's what they need. They need something to lift their spirits.
Bateman in possession. The Welshman's had an excellent match here tonight. Had a very good season too. Sanderson hanging on for Warrington. Last tackle, Dwayne Mann will simply hoist one over the top. Only finds Giles Boothroyd. Now Ford and Sampson. That's a good run from Tony Smith. Tony Smith has got to beat Lee Penny, and Lee Penny equal to it. Great tackle from the young fullback. It's a good attack from Castleford, continued by Boothroyd. Now Ford, long pass from him to Kettridge. Kettridge keeps the momentum going with Coyne.
Oh, it was great to see 2 youngsters there. Tony Smith making the break, but the fullback Lee Penny rounded him well.
And penalty against Warrington. Mike Ford chasing his own kick ahead, and somebody used a shoulder to take him out, and the referee right on the spot saw it.
Well, he just stood his ground, didn't he, Shelford?
Doesn't have to get out of the way.
No, it was a 50-51, that one. Ford just ran straight into him.
But watch this try-saving tackle from Lee Penny on Tony Smith.
Excellent stuff. 2 youngsters of the future. Beautiful football. Great work by Penny, but a nice break by Tony Smith. Perhaps I thought he may have taken the wrong option to start with. Stedman was on the inside in support. But he thought that that man there, he thought that he had the speed to get through. He didn't, because of the excellent play by the fullback Penny.
16 tries from Tony Smith. He thought, I think he was on his way to 17 for the season, but Lee Penny had other ideas. Great break from Castleford, great defence from Warrington. As Mike says, two youngsters of the highest quality. And Malcolm Reilly hinting at half-time that Lee Penny could well be in the under-21 team for the forthcoming internationals against France later this year. Crooks with this penalty then. He's found the target again. He's kicked all 4 of Castleford's points tonight. Warrington still hold advantage 12-4.
Well, the lifeline is still hanging out there, isn't it? 2 penalties by Lee Crooks. Just keep Castleford in with a sniff for this game. Warrington taking their time to restart this game.
Be a big boost for the Warrington coach, Brian Johnson, if Warrington come away with 2 points here tonight. You don't come to Castleford and win easily. A long way from finished yet, the job. But Warrington ahead by 12 points to 4, and 15 minutes of this second half now gone. St. John Ellis has had a... Now Coyne. Coyne had a look out the corner of his eye and saw Taweri Nico standing up in support on his inside. Went on his own. It's now with Mike Ford. That's a good ball to Steadman. Steadman bringing Ellis into it once more. Ford trying to create something and taking the return pass from Crooks. It was the last tackle for Castleford. Coyne, Castleford running this with Nicow, misses out Smith and can only find the fingertips of Boothroyd.
Not the best of passes by the Kiwi, Nicow. Boothroyd not much chance with that one. And once again, I suspect that Castleford trying to make things look pretty instead of getting down to the hard gritty, the hard work.
Poetry was your forte, wasn't it? There's the second half statistic as far as possession's concerned. Well, you'd think that that should be the other way around, wouldn't you, when you look at the scoreboard? 66% of the time to Castleford, 34 to Warrington. Only in the second half, that. Shelford hammers the ball downfield. And that one didn't catch in the wind, and it bounced a little awkwardly for Steadman. Oh, he stepped through the challenge of Bateman well, but couldn't get away from Penny, who's moved up. And there he is again, trying to bring Boothroyd down. And I notice that Chris Rudd is just funneling back to guard the full-back's role as he moved up field. Top the century mark, both sides now in the tackling. And Castleford with Mike Ford, and now Morrison. Mike Ford again, he's working hard, the halfback. Looking for the opening, probing. Coyne. A high kick. That'll have snow on it, that one.
Well, that just shows you the difficulties here. A swirling wind. Sometimes it's with you, other times it's against you. Won't be happy with that. Really hasn't been Castleford's day. Just have not got into the swing of things.
Darrell van der Velde looking stern, the Castleford coach. Not pleased with what he's seen so far. Forster using a bit of strength.
Well, I'm sure that Van der Velde would have wanted a lot more effort from his pack tonight, and that has not been forthcoming.
Harmon now for Warrington. Tackle standing up. Ellis to Mackey to Shelford. They're prepared to take them on, aren't they, Mike? Warrington, they run straight and hard.
Well, they're respecting the possession. They're not trying to get this ball away. They're not panicking. They're not pushing that football.
Stedman just couldn't get away from Mark Forster. Now can Sinjanellis get away for Castleford? No. Sanderson brings him down with a little bit of help from Bob Jackson. Here's Dean Sampson. Oh, that looked a bit high. Sampson's dropped it. Referee says play on. The tackle was legal. Shelford for Warrington.
Well, Harmon really hit him with a big shoulder. There he comes in afterwards. That knocks the ball down. That constitutes stripping the ball away to mine. It's very difficult for the referees, Peter Gilmore, to sort that one out.
He did give a penalty to Castleford for a similar offence at the other end a few moments ago that resulted in the penalty, and this is Harmon now. That's all gone. This is what matters now. It's the 5th tackle for Warrington. That's how close they are. They're in possession with Shelford and now Thornley. And Thornley brought to ground. Last tackle. And so it's the turnover. Newcomers to Rugby League might be interested to know why that happens. After 6 tackles, the ball automatically goes to the opposition.
Disappointed there by Warrington, though. I thought they would have opted for the field goal. They should have taken advantage of there, and that's a penalty. Offside, not getting back the required distance. Running your screen there, Bob Jackson. There's the man, but there was 3 in front of Jackson. Picked any one of those 3.
Yes, these new experimental rules from British Rugby League. They've got to stand back 10 yards, and the penalties heavily in favour of Castleford in this match. And they're trying to make the most of that latest one, the 10th that they've had here tonight now. Ford is the runner.
Well, Ford is a runner, but it should have been forwards running like that.
Coyne. Stedman, ball dropped again. Castleford through the horrors.
Well, they're just hanging back. They're expecting the gap to appear as though it's just magic. You've got to work hard in this game. And that's very fortunate there that they've got the penalty and still in with a chance of scoring a try.
And Castleford just having a debate. Should they run it? Should they go for the 2 points? They've decided to run it. Not sure what that penalty was for, but the referee blew the whistle and gave it, and so can Castleford capitalise? It's the 11th they've had in this match, and this is Mike Ford again. This now is Nick Howe. Still going to a Nick Howe, but not for long. Bateman, the man who brought him down. This is Ford. Long pass from him, oh, not the best in the world. Coyne let it bounce, then jinked inside, found Tony Smith. Jackson, the man round his ankles, brought him down. Stedman to Ford, now Sampson. Last tackle for Castleford. Good defensive stint this by Warrington. Ford will hoist a bomb. Oh, it bounces off the crossbar and comes back to Warrington hands. The hands belong to Harmon, and I've not seen that happen too often in the past. Hits the bar and comes back, and Warrington were all lined up.
Well, is he offside? No, it's hit the post there. I thought it hit perhaps the player. It did hit the crossbar. Ball came through. That's okay. There's no worries about that. But that was an amazing thing there. Castleford, I don't know why, Eddie, they've just got these moves in their head and they want to do it rather than just work. Forget about the moves. Let's get down to playing basic football for a change. Every one of them wants to be ball handlers and no one wants to be a runner.
We watch here as Warrington lose possession, the ball knocked on. Fortunately, the culprit couldn't hang on. Little shake of the head. It means that Castleford have head and feed. Meanwhile, Warrington make the change. Gary Chambers comes on for Neil Harmon. Harmon, who's done well tonight. But a fresh pair of legs in that Warrington pack. Shelford got a toe to that. It's 6 more here for Castleford. Nick Howe, oh, that's good running from Morrison, but a poor pass. And again, the ball surrendered. Well, I think you're right, Mike. They're trying to just be too fancy and do it far too difficultly, if there be such a word.
Well, it's just they should never have attempted to try to get that ball away. Possession is so vital. That was on the first tackle. The referee had waved his hands. Shelford had got his boot to it. That's enough to turn the coach, Daryl van der Velde. Well, he is bald.
I thought you were going to say Gray then for a moment. This is Gary Chambers. Not a happy picture Daryl van der Velde's making. And here now is Paul Cullen. It's the last tackle for Warrington. 11-3 though, that handling error count. Makes good reading from a Warrington point of view, not from a Castleford point of view, but can St John Ellis capitalise on that handling error by Warrington now? Well, no, he can't. And almost there, Dwayne Mann almost raked the ball back, but it's 6 more. Mike Ford, the tackle count is back to 0 once the Warrington player strikes for the ball there.
Did well there, Ellis.
This now is Morrison. Shelford brought him down, 65 minutes gone. The Warrington lead is 8 points. Ford finds Coyne. Mike Ford just almost puts a punctuation mark into it, doesn't he, when he gets it?
Well, I think it's just another move that they're trying to do. They're hoping that the Warrington defence are going to come at them. What do Warrington do? They just stand back and say, we know it's a move. What are you going to do next? That's about the 4th time that we've seen Mike Ford do it, not get away with it, not make the gap. Surely the message has to go out. Stop doing it.
Referee has stopped the clock meanwhile because something happened here. The touch judge had a clear view of it. Ellis and Jackson involved with Nick Howe. And I rather fancy we're going to have another Castleford penalty here for this.
Well, we see Ellis go over the top and come in again. Not happy with it. I think perhaps that Ellis just caught a stray boot with that sort of half-hearted tackle. Didn't take too kindly to it.
Well, when he was asked by his teammates then, Kevin Ellis, he said, I did nothing, but the referee and touch judge disagreed. And so it's Castleford in possession with St John Ellis, brought down by Sanderson. This is Ford, and now it's Kettridge. The Warrington posts in the background. Ford, long pass to Coyne, and Stedman. Pushed back by good Warrington defence again. Dwayne Mann and Bob Jackson that time. Here's Ford now, bringing Blackmore onto it. Blackmore, well, he had Dean Sampson steaming up in support. Takes the ball to himself, and a penalty against Warrington again.
Interference at the play of the ball. And Ford was about to take that tap with men offside. Fortunately, he didn't.
And Lee Crooks, the captain, takes a hand. He says we'll have the 2. The Castleford crowd want Castleford to run it. But Crooks, being the professional he is, says let's take the 2 and then start again. Here's the penalty. This is why it's been given.
Yeah, you could see there. There's Paul Cullen and the fullback Lee Penny involved. Really not giving Blackmore any chance to play that ball. But it has been really scrappy, and you heard the crowd, the Castleford crowd booing their own team because that man there, the captain Lee Crooks, opted to take these 2 points.
Not a bad decision, Mike, to be fair. 28 minutes or thereabouts gone. Still 12 to go. The gap at the minute is 8 points. If he gets this, it'll be 6. And again, the kicker needing assistance to keep the ball upright. And Crooks not put off by that or by the wind. So all 6 points for Castleford going to Lee Crooks. We have about 10 minutes left for play. And the gap now is a converted try. Castleford 6, Warrington 12.
And that brings me back to the point that when Warrington was last down in the Castleford quarter, they wasted the opportunity of adding that 1 point for a drop goal.
Neil Harmon has returned for Warrington. So he's on for the last 10 minutes. Just checking who has come off for Warrington.
Well, maybe now with Castleford only 6 points astray, they really will start getting themselves sorted out, doing a bit of graft and getting involved with it and running a little bit faster like that.
Kelly Shelford, the man off for Warrington, the loose forward. So Harmon back to see out the last 10 minutes, and Sanderson not standing square at the play of the ball and pulling the man down. Well, some people say that is a professional foul.
Well, you can see there, they made no attempt to retire. Interference there, just lost the marbles, I'm afraid, the second row of Sanderson.
They're going to be hard-earned, these 2 points tonight, for whoever wins them. This is Kettridge. Now Crooks, scorer of all the Castleford points, tried to slip the pass to the runners who were rushing either side of him. This is Ford. Coyne. Nickow. Nickow tackled, standing up. Referee now is shouted held. Coyne, 10 minutes to go. 6 points the difference. Morrison, the runner, 10 metres short. That's the pressure that Castleford are putting on to Warrington's defence. Ford, Coyne, Smith calling for it. They gave it to Blackmore instead. Blackmore, well, that hit a Warrington arm. It's 6 more. So Castleford have 6 more tackles to get over that line. It hit a Warrington arm. You saw the referee wipe the tackle can clear. They're in with Blackmore. Blackmore for Castleford. Hold on to your hats. We've got a finish and a half here. Blackmore charging onto it. Wasn't going to be stopped. And the gap now is just 2 points with Crooks's conversion attempt to come.
Stone's bit of championship replay. Good thinking by Ford, taking the blindside option. Back inside by Smith. It was a beautiful step. And for once, Castleford were running onto the ball. The centre Blackmore in for the try. But it all came about by the little halfback thinking to go on that blind option. Wonderful play, though, by Smith, the centre. Backed up well by the Kiwi Blackmore. Good try. See clearly here, you see that Warrington left with only one man out there. Once the step was on the inside, on the second marker, the gap was there. Blackmore took it. Well played.
Blackmore's 11th of the season, the Kiwi international. And it's now down to Lee Crooks. That's the angle he has. Difficult conditions. Wind howling round Weldon Road. Remember, Castleford over for that try, courtesy of a Warrington charge down on the last tackle of the previous attack. So they made full use of the extra 6 that referee Gilmore gave them. Over for the try, but this is a very difficult conversion attempt coming up in these conditions. Crooks has kicked them more difficult than this in his time. Vital one this will be. Oh, it didn't have a chance, did it? Tried to hit it, I think, under the wind and hit it instead under the crossbar. 12-10, Warrington hanging on now.
You can see quite clearly. Look out there. Huge opening there by the defence, and Ford takes the blind side. Excellent try. The step back inside. Drew the second marker. Good support play. Nice try.
So just 2 points, the difference. Blackmore, the man who scored that try, in possession now for Castleford, able to take that tap to himself because there was no one standing in front of him. And Warrington have led from the 22nd minute. They built up a 12-2 advantage, and gradually Castleford have clawed that advantage back. The gap now is just 2 points. And Castleford in possession with Sampson.
Biggest problem now for Warrington is getting back this possession. Castleford really have had most of it this second half.
Crooks, oh, he coughed the ball up then to Mark Forster. Tried to pop one over the top and only found the red and green of Mark Forster and Warrington. Look at the possession in this second half. Castleford have seen 67% of the football, the time it's been in play, to Warrington's, well, just short of 33%. Overwhelming the possession against Warrington, but they have the lead at the moment.
They'll be quite content, Warrington, now, just to push with their forwards, move up quickly like that, then use the kicking game, trying to just force Castleford into their own quarter.
This is the last tackle, and Penny tries to dink one over the top. It touched a Castleford arm. Blackmore sweeps up behind. Amazing up the other end, of course. It touched a Warrington arm, came back to Castleford. They had 6 more. Is the tide turning Castleford's way? Kettridge.
Well, the try certainly has lifted the enthusiasm in Castleford.
Now Ford. Misses out Coyne, sees Nicow and misses him out, and sets on a run on his own. Then brings Blackmore into it. A bone-crunching challenge on Blackmore from Mackey. But gradually, Castleford are coming and coming and coming. But they've got the ball back now, have they? They have, and it's 6 more. St. John Ellis first to react.
That was a
tackles.
bad mistake by Mark Forster, the winger then.
Nicow, wheeling, jinking, trying to get away from the tacklers. Into the last 5. Watson! Oh, just short, Chris Watson. Nicow at dummy half. They want to spread the ball out wide. They're coming back inside instead with Coyne. This is a big effort from the Warrington defence. But Castleford, they know that the 2 points and the winning money's there for the taking. Ford to Smith. Crunching tackle from Thornley.
But where is the charging forwards?
Another tackle gone. That's the last one. Sampson and Ford tries to dab it through, and it bounces off a Warrington leg again. But that was the 6th tackle. It wasn't a strike for the ball by a Warrington player. It went straight at him, and the referee says he will give Warrington some respite.
Well, that was just like the 3-quarter tango. Forget about the forwards. They're near the line. It was a lovely run by Chris Watson that put them there. What they try to do is that fancy work again, instead of just moving a big, strong forward at full pelt onto the ball.
Gary Chambers now, one of those big, strong forwards. The man with fresh legs, of course. Harmon, the man who Chambers replaced, and Harmon has been brought back on. Shelford off, and this is Cullen.
Been a tremendous defensive effort by Warrington in this second half.
That bounced off a Castleford player, but Sampson was there to snuff out the danger as Mackey chased his kick ahead. Now Stedman. Big effort here from Castleford on the attack. They kept Warrington penned inside their own half for that set of 6. Can they make it pay? Crooks is brought to ground by Sanderson and by Chambers. Here's Morrison. Watson, the dummy half. It's Ford. Now Coyne. Nicow. Just paused for a moment and then set off on a little run. Last tackle. They're getting through these set of 6, these 2 teams at the minute, and this is Ford. He's found Nicow. Still going Nicow. Long pass out to this far side. Oh, it'll be 6 more for Warrington to face. Bateman couldn't hang on. Boothroyd has it for Castleford. They can't get hold of the ball, Warrington. 6 more. Blackmore for Castleford.
Oh, what scrambling defence by Warrington there. They're tackling their hearts out.
Sampson trying to get it over the top. Thought the better of it and hung on. Ford to Coyne. Here come Castleford again with Nicow. Short pass to Smith. Warrington working overtime in tackling. Stedman. Crooks. Back to Stedman. Long pass here, and Warrington could be caught. Smith hunting the chance. Warrington in the shape of Dwayne Mann, bring him down. Last one, Coyne. Coyne over the top looking for Nick Howe, finds him. Nick Howe to Blackmore. Blackmore over the top, and Thornley is content to knock it dead. Such pressure from Castleford, great defence, Warrington.
Oh, beautiful kick by Blackmore, well weighted there, and Thornley had to be there. Grimacing there as he just got his left fingertips to it. Oh, Warrington are on the rack. They're out on their legs. Amazing defence, scrambling defence all the time.
Referee just stops the clock. Now he's called time on again. Warrington get on with it. On my watch we have 30 seconds of normal time remaining, plus anything the timekeepers add on. And here come Castleford again. Crooks. It's with Kettridge now. 15 seconds of normal time to go. Nick Howe. Nick Howe almost for Smith. And is it a penalty against Warrington? No, it's against Castleford. He saw a little kick out from Tony Smith, and that could be the decision that gives Warrington the win.
Well, it was Nick Howe that was coming through, one of the few times that the forwards have really charged. And as Smith went through, he lashed out at someone that was trying to interfere with him off the ball. And that could prove very costly indeed.
Forster in possession for Warrington. We're into stoppage time now. What an exciting match this has been, though. Pulsating second half. Castleford so close, within 2 points. Warrington hanging on grimly and attacking now with Bateman, a high challenge by Morrison on him. And that's penalty, Warrington.
Well, that should just see them home. The big second rower, Morrison coming in over the top, no doubt about it. Swinging left arm. But haven't they weathered the storm well, Warrington? They've only had 2 clear opportunities, and I think they've only been in the Castleford half on 4 occasions in this second half, and yet they come away with 1 vital try.
The penalty kick from Warrington went touch in goal, so it's a 20-metre dropout for Castleford. But the lucky thing as far as Warrington is concerned, they have got the ball back, and they will take their time as Lee Penny is doing now, and they should see themselves home in this set of 6, depending on the timekeepers, of course. Coming up to 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Castleford 10, Warrington 12. 2 points, that's all that separates these two sides. And Warrington will take a giant step towards safety if they hang on here and win at Weldon Road tonight.
And full credit to Warrington. They've worked hard, the forwards. This man, Neil Harmon, came back on as a substitute again.
Last tackle, they've set Ellis up for a drop goal attempt. That's the points for Warrington. The gap now is 3 points, courtesy of that drop goal against a win from Ellis. And Warrington go home with winning pay. Ellis punches the air with delight. That's how much this victory means to the men from Warrington. They've stopped the rot. They move up the table from the lower reaches, and they will be delighted on their way home tonight. Excellent match, though. Castleford made a fight of it all the way. Castleford 10, Warrington 13.
The Stones Bitter Championship. Salford come up against Leeds. The Loiners are on a roll. Can they douse the Red Devils' fire? Find out at the Willows in the Big League, Sunday night at 7 on Sky Sports.
The Corgi originally was a cattle dog. We've actually bred 7 champions. And I think feeding's probably the key to everything. They've always enjoyed pedigree chum. The dogs have always loved it, but one of them found it too rich. We tried an improved recipe and his tummy was much better. It's definitely more digestible. He actually will sit down. He's put on body and coat and condition and he's a happier dog. I would certainly recommend new improved recipe pedigree chum. I think it's the best.
What's the difference between these 2 bottles? Ultra Lenore has even more softeners for ultra softness, and it costs less.
I used to put off going to the dentist. I hated that scraping. So I tried Crest Tartar Control, and it really works.
Brushing with Crest Tartar Control helps reduce and can even prevent tartar forming, which means less scraping.
The next visit was much better. Thank goodness for Crest.
Crest Tartar Control helps stop tartar before it starts.
In wet, you can't choose a better tyre than a Uniroyal.
What's it today, Mr. Latham?
Economic advisor to the UN.